sheer scale of devotion in this stadium. In Brazil, Argentina, and England, soccer commands a borderline religious passion. But for most of the 20th century, if you brought up the sport in the United States, you would likely get a blank stare. The American sporting landscape was entirely saturated. Baseball, basketball, and American football generated billions of dollars and commanded national television audiences every weekend. Soccer, meanwhile, was treated as an afterthought, a quiet suburban hobby played by children on Saturday mornings, but rarely followed on a professional level. This created a severe gap in hero worship. Kids across the globe idolized players like Pelé, dreaming of lifting a World Cup for their country, while American kids looked toward domestic giants. They practiced fadeaway jumpers in their driveways, hoping to emulate Michael Jordan. Global observers viewed the United States as a complete outsider, an athletic power with zero cultural footprint in the world's most popular game. That made FIFA's decision to award the 1994 World Cup to the United States highly controversial. International media and established soccer nations predicted a disaster. They couldn't understand why the biggest sporting event on Earth was being handed to a country that barely watched the sport. The outcome surprised everyone. Instead of empty seats, massive, vibrant crowds packed every venue. Fans traveled from all over the globe, and the tournament broke long-standing attendance records. The sheer volume of tickets sold and television sets tuned in left a clear vision behind. The capital and momentum generated during those few weeks directly funded the creation of Major League Soccer. The tournament demonstrated the potential scale of the American audience, providing the justification needed to attempt a permanent professional league. But building a league from scratch proved difficult. For years, MLS struggled with low television ratings and inconsistent ticket sales. Teams played in cavernous, oversized American football stadiums that felt entirely empty, relying on grassroots promotional stunts to stay afloat, while critics anticipated an imminent collapse. This chart shows the estimated franchise valuations of MLS teams from the league's inception to today. You can see the line stay virtually flat near zero through the late 90s, before it curves sharply upward into the hundreds of millions for the present day. That newfound financial stability brought in major international investors. Global brands began classifying the American market as a premier growth opportunity, committing to long-term commercial partnerships. The league's profile surged globally when Lionel Messi signed. His arrival immediately spiked ticket prices, exploded social media metrics, and forced international sports media to cover American club games daily. The perception of MLS as a quiet destination for aging veterans faded. It grew into an ambitious, highly lucrative enterprise capable of financing the sport's long-term domestic future. While famous international signings capture the headlines, the actual mechanics of America's soccer evolution are happening out of the spotlight, inside domestic youth academies. The United States has a massive demographic pool of over 300 million people. When you combine that athletic base with heavily funded elite sports science and modern tracking technology, the development system becomes incredibly efficient. Today's youth are also the first generation to grow up entirely in the internet era. They have daily access to global football content, watching Champions League matches constantly, and studying the highest levels of the sport. As a result, European scouts are actively searching the American market. Highly technical young players are now routinely joining top-tier European clubs at early ages, stepping onto major stages without the intimidation factor that plagued past generations. Back home, the fan culture has matured right alongside this talent. The quiet suburban fields of the past have been replaced by dense, highly organized supporters groups filling massive modern stadiums. By aligning raw demographic size with elite training infrastructure and a deeply rooted cultural belief in the game, the country has engineered a self-sustaining talent pipeline. This foundation is about to be tested. In 2026, North America hosts the FIFA World Cup, projected to be the largest sporting event in history. The sheer volume of global attention focused on the United States will be massive. Historically, hosting a mega event triggers what economists call the tournament effect. It forces permanent upgrades to a nation's sporting infrastructure, expands media broadcasting rights, and causes a sharp spike in youth participation rates. When the U.S. hosted in 1994, it started from zero. Today, the country is absorbing this influx of momentum with a multi-billion-dollar domestic league and established elite academies already operating at full capacity. This tournament acts as a massive accelerant, designed to finalize a commercial and cultural integration that has been decades in the making. Unseating entrenched global powers is incredibly difficult. Nations like Brazil rely on decades of deep tradition, while countries like Germany have refined their tactical structures over generations. These powers will not disappear. Dominating international soccer rarely happens in a single, sudden breakthrough. It requires methodical, generational investment. You can see the results of that investment in the current national team. The rising technical quality and unified strength of the players stepping onto the pitch prove that the compounding development process is working. The financial power, physical infrastructure, and cultural passion for soccer in the United States have finally converged into a functional, self-sustaining system. The resources and talent pool are clear. Whether those ingredients will culminate in the United States winning a men's FIFA World Cup by 2030, or if it remains a distant goal, is a question the next decade will answer. Let us know what you think in the comments.